been a hot second. So welcome to my vlog number 3. This is gonna be our week in Bald Head, aka our baby moon. So we figured, why not have a little vacation, go to the beach, have some downtime, but also celebrate this baby on the way. And so it's so beautiful here. I don't know if y'all can see that, but I'll make sure to film all of our little adventures and everything that we do this week. And I'm about to be in my 3rd trimester of pregnancy. There's a lot of exciting updates and things that I've been doing and learning and all that kind of stuff. So I'll make sure to do a little Q&A at some point during this video and answer questions y'all been asking. Alright, we are off to go explore the island a little bit. It's very cold. What's the place we're going called?
The Maritime Forest Preserve.
Maritime Forest Preserve. We're hoping there's a little hike or something that we can do. I'm walking out to the beach with my mock margarita. Just gonna meet Ian for a little sunset Pratzley time, which is like snack time. And it is so pretty. Here, I'll flip the camera around in a minute. Well, first of all, like, quick little update. I am 28 weeks pregnant right now, which is so crazy. Bump is, like, definitely there, definitely very, like, round and rotund. It's wild. Like, I can feel her kicking all the time. I feel very pregnant, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at, which before, like, I felt, like, larger and really bloated, but I didn't really feel, like, pregnancy feels, I guess, would be the right word. So, anyway, so I wrote down all the questions that I got from y'all on Instagram and all that kind of stuff. So first, our pregnancy story, so like how we found out, which is actually kind of cool. We found out on our 2-year wedding anniversary, and then I realized as we sat down that I was a week late, and so I had a pregnancy test under the sink, and I was like, let me go take that. I wasn't in a huge rush because I was like, I don't think I'm, but anyway, I'll just like double check and see. And sure enough, it had like one very, very legit line and then one line that was faded, and I was like, oh my God, I think that this is 2 lines. How did you tell Ian's story? It's not very cute because it was literally me screaming through the bathroom door being like, oh my God, come look, like, does this look like 2 lines to you? Is this 2 lines? I can't tell. So that turned into like us buying like 5 more pregnancy tests and like taking it over and over again. I kind of just thought once I found out that we would be able to like call the doctor and immediately like the next day get like a blood work confirmation or something. But that wasn't the case. Like, it took 1 to 2 weeks for me to get in to actually see a doctor just to get, like, the confirmation that I was pregnant. So for a whole week, I was like, oh my gosh, all I want to do is, like, tell my parents and like, talk to people about it. But I'm not sure if I'm actually pregnant or, like, if these tests are wonky or if, like, something is weird. So, yeah, so that was shocking to me that, like, I couldn't actually get in to see a doctor for 1 to 2 weeks. I just, like, assumed that that would be what you would do when you find out you're pregnant, but actually they just do like a pee stick test thingy as well. We told our families like right after we found out from the doctor like a confirmation, and that was around I guess like 6 weeks, 6 to 7 weeks pregnant, and then we waited until about like 10 weeks, which is really hard to tell like our close extended family and then like our close friends, and then we waited till the 12-week mark to like share it with the public. But it has flown by since, which is so wild. Like I'm already like I said, 28 weeks, so third trimester, which is crazy because the whole first trimester felt really long and like tedious, and just, I guess because you're not really talking to people about it, it's like still a secret, so, and you don't feel good, so it's just like, ugh, felt like forever. But then once you hit that 12-week mark and go into your second trimester, at least for me, it was like amazing. Like I felt awesome. I was like back to hustling with my business and like doing all kinds of stuff, and the second trimester was amazing. So it has definitely flown by. Someone asked what were the first signs that I was pregnant. This was like super early on. I didn't know I was pregnant yet when I was probably like, I must have been about 3 weeks pregnant or something, two or three, like super early on. I had to like pull over on the side of the road because I thought I was going to vomit, and I do not throw up. I have to be really, really sick to throw up. And the fact that I pulled over on the side of the road and was like actually like gagging and like thought I was going to throw up, I was like, this is so bizarre. Like, am I sick? What's going on? I didn't really pick up on it. After that, I just got back in the car and I was like, okay, that was weird. And then, so someone else asked, were you super sick? No, I feel very grateful. I wasn't really sick or anything like that. I was definitely nauseous in my first trimester. Like, I just didn't feel good. I felt exhausted. I was napping 2 to 3 hours a day. And then I would sleep from like 9 at night to like 9 in the morning or something. Like, it was crazy. Like, I was sleeping all the time. Felt like it was kind of frustrating because you don't look pregnant and you're not telling people that you're pregnant yet, but you're exhausted and just like can't function basically. And so I just felt lazy. Like, all I wanted to do was watch Netflix and like curl up in bed and take like hot baths and just like chill. I remember the feeling of like, oh, this is so frustrating. Like, I know I should be doing more things, but like my body just can't. I'm so exhausted. And it's literally because I was building a human inside of me, and that takes a lot of work. My doctor described it as like, you're basically running the equivalent of a marathon every single day, like in that first trimester. That's how exhausting it is. So I was like, okay, that makes me feel better. Do we have any names yet? So we do, but we're not sharing them with anybody until she's born. And then, did I have any cravings? Yes, I did. I definitely had more aversions and cravings, like things that I was like, oh my God, I can't look at that. I couldn't stand the smell of meat being cooked, eggs being cooked, pretty much like anything on the stove. I was just like, ooh, like I can't handle that smell. Oh, seafood. I haven't really wanted seafood like my entire pregnancy, which is weird. Apple juice was a big one for me. Like, I loved just like cold apple juice. I would go through a ton of that. And then hearts of palm was kind of a weird craving, I guess. Like that salty, like briny one. And then meat. I don't eat a lot of meat normally, but especially early on in my pregnancy, I guess it was that iron. The baby wanted the iron or something. But I was like, literally just give me a steak or like a pork tenderloin or something. Like, I will eat the whole thing. Next question was, what will I do work-wise when this baby comes? So for those of you who don't know, I am an independent consultant and a VP with Arbonne International, which is a vegan wellness brand. It's amazing. If you haven't heard of it, you should totally look it up. And I can pop a little info video below if you're curious what I do. It's also a network marketing company, and so what that means is that I get to work for myself, basically, and determine my own hours, and that's been amazing. So I've been doing this for like 5.5, 6 years now, and I'm so grateful that I dove in when I did and that I built this, because I don't work 9 to 5. I don't have a boss. I don't have to answer to someone. And so I've had the question of like, are you taking maternity leave? Like, what's the policy with Arbonne? It's like, there is no policy because I am my own boss. So I'm going to determine my schedule. And I think that that's so cool. In part, one of the many reasons that I love what I do. So that's going to basically be my plan. Like, I'm just playing it by ear. I'm obviously working right now. I'm going to work like up until I have a baby. I'll probably take a couple of days off when I have the baby. But besides that, like, I know especially when babies are newborn, there's a lot of downtime, like breastfeeding and lots of napping and sleeping. And basically it's like poop, eat, sleep, like cycle, I've heard. So I think during those downtimes is when I'll try to schedule things, like when I do want to pick stuff back up again and like do calls and things like that. I mean, otherwise, like while I'm breastfeeding, I can easily send out a text to a client or like respond to a message. Like, what I do for work is very different than like a traditional job. I'm not too worried about that, which is really nice and exciting. And then healthy hacks. So do you have any tips, or what have you been using, like product wise? I obviously have been using all of Arbonne's products because that's my business and I love the products. I got them all cleared by my doctor, so I got them cleared by my OBGYN and also a midwife. But again, like, I am not a doctor, so you should totally get everything checked out. Don't just like take my word for it. But some of the specific things that I used early on in my pregnancy, I had like weird skin rashes. So I was using all of Arbonne's Baby line on myself because it's super awesome for all of that like irritation and that kind of stuff. So anyway, that's the body wash. I was also using the lotion. And then as I progressed into my pregnancy, my belly started growing. This has been like everything. I'm obsessed with this. I'm gonna like dub this like belly butter or something, or like belly boobs and butt or something like that, because it's body firming cream, but I also will put something called skin conditioning oil that Arbonne has, and then also some detox oil, and then mix it all together. And then I just keep it in here also. It smells amazing. And then every time I get out of the shower, I literally just like lather this all over my stomach, everywhere. I was getting some pretty bad acid reflux and like heartburn and things like that. And again, like, everyone is different. Results are different for everybody. But one thing that I always like to do whenever I'm feeling like that is do the Arbonne 30-day program. So I'm actually doing that right now. And obviously, y'all, I'm not doing it for weight loss or like anything like that. It's really just to like help me with some like other health things, and also just to feel good and like sleep better and all that kind of stuff. So speaking of sleep, that's another thing. Lavender oil has been helping me a ton. So y'all can see I'm like almost out. I need to probably get some more. But I have like been dousing myself in lavender oil. I'll like, when I take a shower at night, sometimes I'll spray it in the shower, and then that way I'm like breathing it in. I'll put some on my pillow. I also will rub it on my feet, which it like absorbs upwards, which is really good. And I love that lavender oil. It helps put me into a deep sleep, because especially right now that I'm entering my third trimester and she's like kicking a lot at night, I definitely wake up a ton, like usually 2 to 5 times a night, which is a lot. And then the other thing that I've been doing for like acid reflux stuff when I do get that is putting a little bit of apple cider vinegar in some water and just drinking that, which helps. Okay, the other questions. Are you using a midwife, OBGYN, like doula? Like, what does my birth team look like? In the very beginning, like I told y'all, it took a week to 2 weeks to get in to even see a doctor. And I actually went to 2 different hospitals just to kind of like see what the difference was. The first hospital that I went to, I had never been to before, and that was like a practice of midwives. And so I met with a midwife there. And then second appointment that I went to was my normal OBGYN. And I ended up just going with my normal OBGYN because they're literally like down the block from me. So it's really easy. And for my first birth, I wanted to give birth in a hospital because some autoimmune stuff that I have going on and like pre-existing things. I am going with a hospital birth. I would like it to be more natural in a hospital. And I'll talk about that in a minute. I decided to go with my OBGYN that I've just always seen, especially because they're so close to our house. And that way, like, I can go to appointments, and with COVID going on, like, Ian can't come with me to the appointment, but he can come to the ultrasound. So whenever we have like a combo ultrasound appointment, he can come for the ultrasound, but then he has to leave. So it's just easier and convenient that way. And then we also hired a doula, which I'm so excited about. If you're in the Charlotte area, we hired Aussie doula, and we're working with Helen, and she's been amazing and just so helpful. And that was, for me, especially with COVID going on, and like my mom's not going to be able to come into the birth room with me and be in the hospital. I just wanted somebody that was experienced, like a woman that was experienced in birth and has been through it and like helped other women through it, that was there for me as like an advocate for me. So, and obviously Ian's going to be there, which is going to be great, and he's going to be awesome and so helpful. Having a doula was something that I kept just like feeling like I should do it, and so we just bit the bullet. And it's been awesome just being able to ask questions, and I'll text her about little things like, hey, I have acid reflux, do you have any tips? And she was the one to tell me about like apple cider vinegar stuff. So yeah, we're going to be making a birth plan with her soon. And then, oh my gosh, so clothes, I will definitely like maybe put some right here, but I have been living in probably like the same 5 outfits. No joke. I mean, luckily with COVID pregnancy, like we don't really see anybody, so we can kind of I wear the same thing like every single day. I'm not kidding. Next question is about baby registry. So, oh my gosh, what I think I'm going to do is at the bottom of this video post like the research that I have done on baby things because it's too much to talk about. Like, this would be a really, really long video. So instead, I'll just post like a little template below about like brands and feedback that I got from friends and family and different things like that. There's so much out there, and obviously we're not going to be getting all that stuff, but I'll post what I have found out about it and definitely share it with y'all. Are we doing birth classes, hospital? So we are actually doing, I'm so excited, we just started doing this 2 days ago. We're doing a birth class called Hypno Babies. It is definitely something that before I knew what it was, I was like, oh my god, what? Hypnosis? Like for childbirth? Like what? But I was totally skeptical, but a friend of mine did it for her first birth and she's doing it again for her second birth, and I was like, okay, tell me about it. And what's super cool about this program, and obviously like you do you kind of thing, like whatever floats your boat. For me, I had like I was really freaked out and like fearful of childbirth, and especially early on in my pregnancy, I just was nervous, like I was scared of the pain. Pain was the biggest thing for me just because I have these like, I mean, we all see on like TV and shows like how women like on TV are like screaming in pain and labor and like all that kind of stuff. So I had these like deep-rooted fears around that. And so she was telling me that this really helps. And basically what this class does, it's all the things that I'm obsessed with anyway. It talks about like meditation and like positive affirmations and like reprogramming your mind to think about birth in a really positive and like peaceful, joyful way. And I love that. So we're doing that program. It's been awesome. We've done 1 class so far. We have 5 more to go. So it is a little more of like an intensive class, and there's a lot of homework and stuff like that, but it's been awesome. And there's like tracks that you listen to, but it's so up my alley. And I mean, I'm meditating like every day and doing affirmations every day anyway. So now I've kind of just switched those out for birthing ones. And I can definitely pop like a website below. Definitely check it out. It's probably not for everybody, but I'm excited about it, and it's been great for us so far. What do we have to lose? Like, we might as well try it, especially with the hypnosis stuff. I was totally like freaked out by that at first, but first of all, like, you're always in control. It's not like someone's like, go into hypnosis and you're like unconsciously giving birth. Like, not at all. You're conscious the whole time. It's just putting yourself in like a really calm, relaxed state so that you're not fearful and tensing up and making it more painful. What are some books that you've been reading? Oh my gosh, so many. I'll put the full list below, but some of my top favorites were Bringing Up Bebe. It's written by an American woman who moved to France, and I just think it's like hilarious, the whole book, and it was the first one I read, which was just like a really sweet, like fun read. Definitely recommend that one. Happy Birth book was also amazing. A friend lent that to me, and that just walks you through like A to Z, what are all the words, like what, how certain things work in your body. Like, there are things that I didn't even know existed in my body before pregnancy. So this walks you through all that. And then same thing with Shit No One Tells You. That's another book that I read that was like just a funny, I think I knocked it out in like 3 days, and it was a really quick read, but it just talks about a lot of stuff that people don't tell you. And then right now I'm reading Ina May's Guide to Childbirth. And then there was a bunch of books, y'all, that I ordered and ended up not reading, or I started to read and I stopped just because I had got negative vibes from it. And again, like, you do your thing, but I just kept finding that a lot of these books were talking about like the pain and how bad it was for them and like terrible birth stories. And I was like, I don't want to hear about this. I want to hear like good stuff. So I stopped reading those, but I've been like very focused on making sure that I'm surrounding myself with good, positive stories. Apps that I used, oh my gosh, I'll put those on here as well. First, when I first found out I was pregnant, I downloaded, like, no joke, like 10 pregnancy apps. I subscribed to like all the pregnancy, oh my god, things online, and it was super overwhelming because every single one has like 5 different emails and whatever. So I deleted everything. Now I just have 2 apps that are really helpful, and then there's one that's like a daily update, and then there's one that's like a weekly update that gives you like a more in-depth one. So I'll share those on here. And then I use Tiny Beans, which is like another app that we've shared with our immediate family, and that's like bump date pictures and like when we're, on our baby moon, like baby moon pictures and ultrasound pictures, and like you can add little videos and stuff like that. So that's been kind of fun. Those are all the questions that I had. Hopefully this was helpful, and I will drop some links and pictures and things like that below. But I'll definitely be doing another blog soon about like furniture and baby, like that was another question, like nursery, baby room, like what are we doing in our house, because we live in a tiny house. So I'll definitely do a little post about how we are like reorganizing some things in our home. Only 12 weeks to go until this baby arrives, so I'll definitely be popping on here and sharing some more things before then. Bye.